only Henry Winkler. Hello, Mr. Winkler. How you doing?
Oh, I'm back in Orlando. It is the greatest.
Are you really? Because we remember when you were here filming Waterboy, and the whole town was talking about it. Everybody was so thrilled that Henry Winkler was here.
But you know what? Everybody was so warm to me. And then we drove down the highway at 4 in the morning. Jerry Reed took us bass fishing at some incredible lake. Okeechobee.
Lake Okeechobee, yeah.
Oh, and Beaver was our guide in the morning. At 4 in the morning, he made scrambled eggs for us. We went out on the water. It was incredible.
That movie was so funny. You were so great in that movie, and of course, we all loved it.
You.
I mean, you were one of the first icon as a kid that I absolutely loved. What was? I bet it's probably even hard to believe how people were emotionally attached to you at that time, right? When you were Fonzie, what a big deal that was.
You know, I have to tell you, I got a job. It only had 6 lines. And out of those 6 lines grew this amazing following that I never take for granted. And that was at 27.
Wow.
And now, then at 72, I auditioned for this new show called Barry. They said, you're on a short list. I said, is Dustin Hoffman on that short list? Because if he is, I'm not going in because he's going to get it. He's got an Academy Award. They said, no, he's not on the short list. I went in. My son, Max, directed me in the audition. I went in to read for Bill, and lo and behold, we are now starting our 3rd season this Sunday at 10 o'clock.
And we have a guy on the show that talks about it and loves the show so much. It's Barry, and it's on HBO, right, Ryan?
Oh, Henry, I absolutely am the biggest fan of this show. I was so excited to be able to talk to you. I understand though that the way where physically Barry was shot in a studio was at one point the Happy Days studio.
Yes, last year. At the end of the 2nd year, last year, not really. It was like 2000, the beginning of 2018. We shot the 2nd series, and we were on stage 19. And I said to Bill, you don't understand. I'm doing an unbelievable moment here on stage 19. This is where we shot Happy Days. And I took him around the whole studio and said, this is where we had spitball fights. This is where the donuts were. Here was the payphone. They had payphones at that time. And it was amazing. And that's the moment that I shot on that soundstage was the one where I wake up and realize that.
That's crazy. Hey, Henry, I was talking to someone a couple weeks ago, and they did not believe me. And I think I remember, correct me if I'm wrong, you did a movie where you were a professional wrestler. Is that true? Or
yes, the one and only. It's called The One and Only.
And it was awesome.
George.
Thank you. It was the life of Gorgeous George, or it was just the inspiration?
No, it was the life of Gorgeous George. And Carl Reiner, the late, great Carl Reiner, directed the movie.
Did you study a lot of tape and stuff in order to pull that off?
No, not only did I study tape, but as we filmed, let's say we filmed from 6 to 6 in the day, 6 in the morning to 6 at night. At 7, I was in the gym studying with wrestlers on what the moves were being thrown around like a rag doll.
It was a great movie. I knew I remembered it, and I thought for sure you were the star of it. Yes, Ryan, question for the one and only Henry Winkler.
Now, this season seems like it's going to be very difficult because without spoiling anything from the last seasons, if people haven't seen it, Barry has been a likable character, I would say, up until the end of season 2. Was this a difficult hole to get out of? Are we gonna find Barry likable again? Do people just hate him now?
I'm telling you. So this is what I'm able to tell you. I am on HBO. We start this Sunday. It's a serial comedy, and they made this mature man run more than I've run since 1958. Those are the directions I have been given by Bill Hader and HBO, not to give any spoilers away. But I will say that this year it became so dark, I bought a miner's cap.
Nice.
Angel, question for the great Henry Winkler.
Henry Winkler, how much fun are you having right now? I mean, you're doing things like this project. You're doing Robot Chicken. You were in Close Enough. I mean, you're the go-to guy that a lot of people want in their cool projects. Are you really getting a chance to like take this all in and enjoy this?
You know what? That is such a great question because, yes, I am. The fact of the matter is that I don't want to retire until I can't do it anymore. So we've just written our 38th novel for children. I'm doing Barry. I just came back from France where I did Wes Anderson's movie. I do these wonderful Monsters at Work for Disney. I'm a voice on that show. I'm having the time of my life.
That's awesome.
Hey, Henry, a lot of people who are just icons sometimes don't like talking about the characters that made them icons. There's some people, like they don't want to talk about good times when they were in good times or whatever. Do you get a little sick of talking about Fonzie and Happy Days, or do you still embrace it?
You know what? I love the Fonz. Remember, he introduced me to the world. And the Fonz is always going to be there. People are always going to remember him. I had the best time playing him because I got to be who I wasn't. I was never that cool. I was never that great with girls. I was never that in control.
I remember hearing that you didn't even know how to ride a motorcycle when you first got the role. And I was like, oh, that can't be true.
Still don't.
You still don't?
I still don't know how to run. No.
How'd they get that scene with the scene in the beginning of Happy Days? You're riding on the motorcycle up into the driveway. How'd they do that?
By the grace of God, I didn't fall down and smash somebody.
Henry, you play an awesome role on Barry, where you're an acting teacher. Are you specifically basing that off of anyone? Because in my experience, acting teachers are the quirkiest people in the world. And where are you pulling that from?
Well, okay, so I taught 5 classes in my life. One at Northwestern, one at the festival South by Southwest, 3 at Emerson College where I went in Boston. And I then read, what do people say about the character? What does he say about other people? I put that all into a blender, and out comes Gene.
Well, you do a fantastic job. I mean, you're literally like one of the reasons I watch the show is specifically for you. So it's amazing your role in that show.
Yes, Angel.
Well, I'm telling you, this is the most intense work I've ever done since I began professionally June 30th, 1970.
Mr. Winkler, it's an honor to talk to you. I'm an actor, and your work is just fantastic. And
Thank you.
I'm just honestly, it's and so I do have a question though. You are synonymous with a term that people use all the time, which is "jump the shark." And
Yes.
I don't think I've ever heard you and your feelings on what is a term people still use to kind of peak when greatness peaked. How do you feel about that term, and when did you learn about it?
Okay, so I heard about it right at the beginning. A man named John Heim was at Michigan University,
Howard
and
Stern.
he was sitting in his dorm, and he was right there, and he came up with the term with his friend when they watched the Fonz jump the shark on water skis. Now, not only did I not care that he came up with that phrase because we were number 1 for the next 4 years, Not only do I not care that he used that phrase because there were newspapers at that time, and people actually read newspapers. And every time they mentioned Jump the Shark, they put a picture of me water skiing. And at that time, I had great legs. So it was a win-win situation.
Oh, I love your attitude, man. I love your perspective on it. That's so wonderful to hear, Mr. Winkler.
Thank you.
So you want everyone to watch. It's this Sunday. It's season 3 of Barry, right?
And you know what? I will tell you that it really is a wonderful entertainment. It is quirky. You cannot second guess where this is going. That's for sure.
Well, you know what? We're just honored that you called. I will tell you, man, you brought a lot of happiness to my life as a kid. I had your poster on the wall, every Fonzie book there was. So it's a pleasure to talk to you, and thank you for taking time to talk to the Monsters in Real Radio today. We appreciate it.
Well, let me just say, Monsters, I'm so happy that you invited me. Thank you.
There you go. The one and only Henry Winkler. Wow.
Class act, man. That's all I've ever heard about Mr. Winkler there, man. I'll work with him one day. I'll say, hey, call the show, whatever.
I am a monster.